You're watching Hellbent Holler live, part of the Hellbent Media Network. Grab a drink, settle in, and get ready for the show.
I always have to do the head bob and enjoy that music before I cut it off. All right, we're going to do a mic check and a camera check to make sure that you can see us and you can hear us, and then we will get started. Let's see. Sounds good. Looks good. Thank you, Nut Slap. Always can rely on a good nut slap.
Always rely on nut slaps.
Welcome to Hellbent Holler Live. My name is Jessie. This is Joe. We are your hostesses and toasty woasty for the evening. We are glad to have you guys here. If you have never joined us for the show, if you're a newcomer here, this is our weekly live show that we do on the channel, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, which with the time change, it's a little feels like it's much earlier.
And according to Mark Glenwright, who's first time here, it's 11:34 p.m. in England.
Ah, well, there you go.
Thanks for the dedication there,
So
Mark.
in England, it happens every Monday at 11:34 p.m. Yeah. So it's just a free-form conversation. Sometimes we come with topics. Sometimes we talk about stuff that's occurred. Sometimes we talk about projects that we've worked on or that we are working on. It's kind of just free-form. So join in the chat. If you're new, you'll catch right on. You'll catch up. You'll come up to speed pretty quickly. And if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Turn on your notifications. Burton. I'm having a day. I'm sorry. You'll have to be patient. Be patient with me. God's not finished with me yet. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications and consider becoming a member of the channel. You get all kinds of extra footage, early releases, and ad-free videos of everything.
Jason Coppersmith just rejoined, actually. Jason was a member once before.
Very cool.
And then we just had Linda Owen and Todd Scoble join.
Very cool.
Thank you for joining, and thank you for supporting this project. So,
yep.
Anyway,
it's been a rough couple of days over here.
Jesse's been sick.
I've been very sick. I had to go get an IV treatment.
We
today.
think. All right, so it's one of three things. Either she caught a stomach bug.
Yeah.
Sick from, if you filter water from like a stream or a lake or anything like that, we carry really good water filters, don't get me wrong. But at the same token, like one protozoa is all it takes sometimes. So
a single protozoa can take down.
She might have got some bad water. Or her sushi dinner from Friday night is not setting well with her. We might think she might have food poisoning. So yeah.
I was talking to Katie. Now, Katie, she did that Halloween live with us. She does some investigations with us. I was texting with her and she goes, "Why is it the weirdest things that take you down? It's poison ivy, garlic aioli."
When you guys weren't
a single protozoa.
And what's crazy is that it wasn't even poison ivy from busting through the woods. It was poison ivy from cleaning up around our house.
And then I got reinfected.
And then she got reinfected.
Yeah.
And the doctor was like, you should have came in weeks ago. And Jesse goes, I've only had it for like, what, 4 or 5 days? And the doctor was like, oh God, we need to get you on like massive antibiotics like right now.
And steroids.
And steroids.
That was when I was roid raging.
She was that's right. You were roid raging for like a good couple of weeks there. So
yeah.
Gardening is a dangerous sport. So
it's all a dangerous sport for me for some reason. Joe come home today and he was like, because I had to go get an IV. So I have
track marks.
Got my track marks.
Start that rumor up.
I sent a photo to Lady Wolf while I was getting my IV, but I had to go get an IV today because I was so bad off today. So I had to go get like intravenous fluids and stuff. But Joe was like, all right, you need to sage the house or something because you keep having this really bad luck and like bad health issues. So I'm going to do that. And yeah, so we're gonna try to avoid all that. I'm just gonna cook at home.
I'm just gonna cook at home
and take my water with me, and that's what we're gonna do from now on because we're not sure. Juicer says last time he got food poisoning was sushi, so it probably is sushi.
A couple other new members, Zach 92.
Thank you, Zach 92. That is awesome.
Thank you for joining, and then Centurion Legio X.
Legio X.
The G would be an H in Latin.
That's a cool name.
I took 5 years of Latin, and I can barely remember like anything. Agricola means farmer. Remember that? You know what I'm saying? So,
well, we got that covered.
There you go. So, all right.
Well, Greggle all over the place then.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy.
I love it when people do that right at the beginning of the show. You don't know whether the show's going to suck. It's going to be good.
It's a vote of confidence.
We're going to get those emails saying, hey, super chatted you guys $20, but that was just a pretty crappy show, and I'd like that money back, please. So.
Centurion, our new guy here. God, it's moving too fast. I keep losing it. There he goes.
Yeah.
Centurion Legio X. Is it Legio? Would that be correct,
It
Mr.
would
Latin?
technically be Legio.
Legio.
I'm trying to remember my Latin here. Let's just call
Jesse,
him Centurion.
maybe you're not eating enough barbecue Vienna sausage. You know what's funny? I've never gotten sick off a canned Vienna sausage.
You haven't. You go to a nice sushi dinner and you get sick for days, laid down for days.
Yeah, because I had to work extra days last week.
You could probably.
I was thinking about getting a nice meal. I probably just need to stick to Trucker's snacks.
Yeah, exactly. So if your meat doesn't come in a can or a bag, just don't even mess with it at that point. So, anyway, thank you for that, Curtis. We're going to put that towards Jesse's oncoming hospital stay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, we got a couple quick things here real quick. First off, our boy LW enjoyed your interview with Untold Radio.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. So I did an interview with Untold Radio's wide open research. That is Dr. Russ Jones and his partner, whose name escapes me currently. I just always remember Russ Jones because I always think about Indiana Jones and Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones. Did you drop that during the interview? Because I haven't watched the whole thing yet.
Maybe I did quietly under my breath.
You should have just, what was Short Round's like little catchphrase?
No way, Dr. Jones.
No, she had arranged.
But I did an interview with them, and I did it solo. I did it by myself. Joe was running late, so he couldn't do it, and I think that we're just going to slowly push Joe out of the channel.
Happy with that.
Joe's going to go and start golfing like he constantly threatens to do.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I had a great time doing it. It was cool to, their audience is mostly a Bigfoot centric audience. I think that they kind of started out mostly kind of pretty stringent on.
They were
Bigfoot
a lot more
stuff.
open than what I anticipated when I watched the
they were very
interview.
open. I don't know. I think when they first contacted me about doing it, I was like, oh, I think I responded to Russ. I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm not one of these like super woo people who talks about crystals and the Sabe Galactic Council. And I'm not somebody who is, hell-bent on being a looking for a monkey in the woods. I'm kind of in between. What are you laughing about?
They're already wishing me well. as I move on to my next venture.
Good luck.
Yeah, glad to best of luck to you.
I had to warn him that I actually DM'd him that I was like, hey, I'm not this or that. I'm some weird amalgamation of these things, and I actually have some pretty out there theories on what this could be, and have had some pretty out there experiences that are not just Bigfoot. It's kind of ranges the gamut. And that I have evidence of all these. We've experienced all this, recorded a lot of this crazy stuff. So I kind of prefaced it with that because we get emails all the time inviting us to do things. And by the time we get around to responding to the people, which even if we respond pretty quickly, it's like they email us and then they watch our stuff
and then they change their minds.
Then they don't want either of us involved with anything. So I went ahead and out the gate kind of warned him, and he was like, nope, totally cool. But I think they were a lot more open to kind of the weirder stuff than I expected. And I think that's really cool. I think that's really nice. I'm glad that a lot of people are starting to expand their perspectives on what these phenomena are, how they behave and how they interact with our environment, how they interact with their environment, and what their origins could be and what their capabilities could be.
Yeah.
I think that our evolution that we've both had over the past so many years doing this, I think more people are having that evolution. And I almost think, and I talked about the UAP disclosure and how, Gary Nolan is doing those brain scans on people who have experienced UAPs or have had sightings, abductions, anything like that, that there's something completely different about their brains. And maybe someone who is a scientist with hundreds of patents and who is a trusted person in the biomedical field is taking a serious look at this. Maybe people in the Bigfoot world are accepting that there's weird stuff out there because finally we have a scientist with a solid background who's finally giving them what they want, admitting that there's something else out there.
I stand by this theory. Thank you for that, by the way, Centurion, for antibiotic-laden sausages. Is that a thing?
So, you know what? That's probably why they don't hurt me. They're pumped full of chemicals and antibiotics and preservatives.
I think maybe that's why you got sick, is because you laid off the sausages. So
I need medical sausages.
So, but my thing is this, is that I was having this discussion with one of our members, as a matter of fact, and I just went, here's where we're at right now. The smartest people in the world, okay, some of the most forward thinkers that we have on this planet right now are taking the UAP topic seriously.
Yeah.
And they're going, it's something to do with consciousness and reality, and it's a lot weirder than what we originally thought it was. Matter of fact, reality is a lot weirder than what we thought it was, okay? So those are the best and brightest are coming out and telling you that our consensus reality is not all that there is, okay?
And it seems like they're trying to slowly ease us into it and be gentle and do it with kid gloves, but think about what they know. So
you've got scientists, legit scientists, not people with shaky credentials or anything like that, are coming out telling you that the universe is a lot weirder than what we thought it was. But yet you have pretty much general consensus among people involved with like wildlife biology, zoology, and all that would come out and tell you, wow, it's pretty impossible though for there to be an undiscovered monkey running around North America that's responsible for all these sightings. So for people to go, well, that's scientifically impossible when you start talking about some of the weirder stuff out there, I just kind of go, we kind of got science on our side at this point, man. Y'all are the ones who don't have science on your side, Now there might be, again, a small population of relic hominids out there that aren't apes. They're probably close. They'd have to be closer to people than anything else. But that would be in very specific geographic areas. It wouldn't be responsible for the ones that we see everywhere. That's got to be something more. That's got to be, there might be two different phenomena going on, but at least one of them's a hell of a lot weirder than an undiscovered monkey running around the woods. And it comes to the point where you either have to accept that and realize that you don't have all the answers. There's an answer out there. We just ain't got it. Nobody's got it yet, but at least we're starting to realize that there is an answer out there, and it's probably a lot weirder than what we thought. It might take us a while to get there. So anyway, a couple other things here real quick. Paul wants to know if we're doing anything for St. Patrick's Day. Hell no.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
Well, actually, we will be somewhere for St. Patrick's Day, but it won't be at a bar.
Won't be at a bar. So
So
St. Patrick's Day is the worst of the amateur hour drinking holidays out there. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're from New Orleans, right? Big drinking city. Big, no. And the big ones are obviously Mardi Gras, Halloween, New Year's Eve. St. Patrick's Day is the worst of all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it's the absolute worst one of all of them. So
I used to march in one of the parades for St. Patrick's Day, and I had to
Yeah.
wear like a little tuxedo
Mhm.
and march in the parade. That was fun, St. Patrick's Days, but working it was terrible. No, we will actually be. So Joe and I have been kind of gearing up and getting prepared to work on our first, like, how do I say this, like full length documentary.
legit documentary.
So I put my toe in the water with doing documentary style because a lot of my investigation videos I've been kind of working up and getting better about editing and adding more elements into my videos as I get better and better. I get better every time I do this. I think I'm learning something every time. I'm self-taught with all of this, so it is a learning process as I go through with learning how to edit and learning how to get through footage and learning how to put
Mhm.
this stuff together and present this in not only an informative way, but an entertaining way to the audience. So it's been a process in doing that. This last video that I put out, which just hit 100,000 views, I want to say
That's pretty meaty for like a
That's-
janky little YouTube channel like us
it's pretty meaty.
with no red arrows or shocked faces on the thumbnail. You know what I'm saying? Now you
No.
realize if you'd done that, you would have had like 1 million views on the damn thing. One of those like
Yeah. But that video was kind of my first foray into putting together a more complex video. So we're kind of gearing up right now to go and film our first full length doc that we're going to be doing. And that's going to include interviews. So we're going to have actual interviews in this documentary. It's going to be on a subject that not a lot of people have. Haven't heard anybody mention this subject.
No.
To this point, or and much less delve deep into what this subject is, the history behind it. And so this is really exciting for us. It's going to be a new venture. And it's going to be a lot more complex than what we've ever done. It's going to be a massive undertaking, but I'm very excited to do it. So the first part of our investigation, interviews, and shooting for that is going to be St. Patrick's Day
Mhm.
weekend. So with the luck of the Irish,
luck of the Irish,
Mr. Doyle,
Mr. Doyle. So,
that'll go well. So I'm looking forward to that. That is going to be really cool. And I hope that when that comes out, we can kind of present a new story to you guys. I know we
Mhm.
talk about Dogman all the time. We talk about Bigfoot all the time, but this is something.
this is something different.
This is something different.
Something
Something
different.
very old. So
Mhm.
I'm excited about it. You guys are gonna love
and
it.
not necessarily friendly. So
Yeah.
Real quick things here. Ron S., welcome to you from Singapore.
I
That's our
started
first-
that because I think he is like the early morning winner there.
Yeah, no doubt, man. Thank you for the
That's a far and wide right there.
yeah. So No Time for Love, Dr. Jones was one of the ones
Yes.
that I already unstarred that. Other people are, man, they jumped on this getting rid of me quick bandwagon here. So interview showed you're brand intelligent and professional, Jesse. Joe, it's time to start Hellbent Hole in One. So there you go. Mark Webster, thank you for that, Mark. And you had asked, how do you feel about the quality of these UFO UAP, given our military's technology, yet these videos are such poor quality and grainy? So this will segue. Thank you for that, Mark. The Aero, which is the office that was designed to, what is it? The Advanced Aerospace Resolution Office. I can't remember. They've changed freaking acronyms so quickly nowadays, but
ASAP, Aero. It's
ASAP,
Aero now.
Aero, ATIP.
It's Aero now.
Yeah, it's Aero, but it's the Advanced Aerospace Resolution. I don't know, something. They brought out their report that everybody's been waiting for, and shocker, they came out and went, nope, there's no evidence whatsoever of the United States ever having possession of extraterrestrial technology. We don't have proof of any extraterrestrials. All of this is just, it's all misidentification. All the whistleblowers are lying. There you go. And because everybody keeps going, do you really trust the government trying to push it's one of my things that I've thought about a lot. People keep going, oh, this is like some Project Blue Book stuff. If the government is telling you that there are UFOs there, don't trust them. And I keep going, the government ain't telling you that there's UFOs there. Members of the government are kind of going off the reservation. Some of them are saying the UFOs are there. Some of them are saying there's something going on here we need to look into. But those are kind of the outliers. The establishment is still sticking to this. They're saying there's nothing to see here. And this is obviously, they've just stonewalled at this point. They've stonewalled. And I think that a lot of the stuff that's been released has been, it's like a document, or it's like an image that's been Xeroxed one too many times. You know what I'm saying? You're not getting the best and brightest, the most, they're not going to release that. They're not going to release some stuff with technical information on it because we don't want to let our earthly adversaries know what our capabilities are.
Right.
But I think that a lot of this stuff is
probably not even first gen video. It's probably,
well, they talked about the Tic Tac, definitely, that there was other footage of the Tic Tac that had not seen the light of day.
that's like the Patterson Gimlin film. That's not a first gen, you know?
Yeah, but what you're seeing though is you're not seeing all the sensor tech. And supposedly there is real good footage out there, just like laying around. Well, not laying around, hidden away. But here's what's going to be interesting about all that, though. You keep hearing about catastrophic disclosure, and that is people take that one of two ways: that the entities, the phenomenon itself, discloses itself, and there's not anything that anybody can do to stop them, or that somebody in the government finally just goes, it's ridiculous trying to go about this the legal way. We just need to really start releasing stuff. Okay. Like Snowden type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just let the chips fall where they may. We're going to start releasing. We're going to tell you where the stuff's at. We're going to start releasing stuff that would get us locked up. And I think after this report, you're a step closer to that. And here's the deal. We all know that, not all of us, but a lot of us know that there's high strangeness out there. There's weird phenomena out there that cannot be explained. Okay. What we're going to see now is that if any of these talking heads that have kind of put themselves forward as being in the know, whether they got the goods or not, if some of these people who have claimed that, well, we might have to have catastrophic disclosure, I've got the goods, I just can't release them because it would be against national security. Well, here you go now. You know what I'm saying?
You have your excuse for why you can't show your
proof. As to why you can't do it. Okay. If you're saying that this is in the American people's best interests and you feel that you have been given like an unlawful order to keep this quiet, I think I think we're getting closer to it if it's going to happen.
Terry McCullough says that Arrow pretty much said anyone talking about aliens was misinformation.
So, but here's the deal is that at the same token, we don't know what's misinformation. We like George Knapp a great deal. You know what I'm saying? George Knapp's been at this for a long while. I don't think he would be in misinformation, like a disinformation agent. Knowingly. But here's the other stuff too. This is obviously a web at this point. Okay. There's intelligence, counterintelligence. There's people laying false trails. There's everything like that. At this point, we don't know what's real and what's not. There are things that seem like they might be legit. But this has obviously been a cover-up that's been going back at least into the 40s.
Yeah. Okay? And of course, there's the active peppering in parts of the truth.
Half truths, half lies, everything like that. So
that muddy the water even further.
So what I think is going to be interesting to see is that who's going to drop the S? Who's going to shit or get off the pot? Okay. Who's going to like finally just go? And if all of these dudes are in the public eye, just go, nothing we can do, guys. Sorry. You know, maybe they didn't have the goods all along. We're going to see somebody's got the goods though. Somebody's got the goods, and all it's going to take is one person kind of really kind of doing this for the dam to break.
Yeah.
You know, so, but like I said, I think that them taking a hard, there's nothing to see here and move along stance is going to help us all more in the long run. Because now you're painting people into corners that they're going to have to break these non-disclosure agreements to get this out. I think that if they had kind of taken like a wishy-washy, well, you know, it's too early to say, they could have like gotten away with it for a little longer. But hopefully they put somebody into a corner that's going to do let's go do something stupid.
Paul Puglia said that Jesse and Joe, with all the strange things going on in this world today, some people think the booming sounds in the LBL is our government building an underground city.
We heard about tunnels out there, man.
We heard about tunnels out there. We've gotten some strange readings and signals out there. But, you know, when it comes to like underground bases, underground cities, anything like that, there's cities, bases, protected facilities inside mountains. We know that for sure. I don't know about the LBL. I don't know if that would be an ideal
Well, you know, we've heard
location for.
there's been people talking for years about rumblings in the ground that we don't think it's not the dam, you know,
Right.
it's not the dam releasing water. There have been people that have contacted me to try to get information about how they could run seismic equipment and on their own property to try to figure out something more about these like rumblings they keep feeling, you know, to get some more like precise data on it. So those are people that live in that area. And again, we've had people tell us that there were tunnels going from the mainland to the peninsula underneath the water there.
Yeah.
We've never come across that, but we've had more than one person tell us that at this point. So this was from earlier. Lone Star Sixer had asked. Question I have is, from what I understand, Bigfoot doesn't like infrared light. Do you think it's because they can see it and that's why they're able to avoid trail cams? I don't know. It's one of our little like tropes that we always talk about, is that animals that can like see infrared light are cold-blooded, because your own body heat would interfere with being able to see infrared. If you're warm-blooded, we assume that Sasquatch are warm-blooded. They got hair, you know, they got boobs, you know, they got the boobs, man. So
You don't see no lizard boobs out here.
you don't see no lizard boobs out there, but they you would assume that they're warm-blooded. So therefore, now you've got warm-blooded animals that can sense heat really well, like vampire bats have receptors in their nose, so that way they can get up to the warmest part of the body of whatever animal they're trying to feed off of, and then have more, you know, a better access to the animal's blood source. But that's different than seeing infrared light. But here's the deal. Regardless of how they do it, it seems like they can do it. Okay. It seems like they can do it. That's why we don't really run trail cams a lot. That's why we've gone so heavy on thermal imaging technology, which is passive. It doesn't emit infrared, ultraviolet, visible light, doesn't emit any of that. We carry night vision cameras and full spectrum cameras with us because we want to film it. We don't want to film everything on like thermal, you know. We want whatever we capture to have context nowadays, especially in the day of artificial intelligence. But I don't know, but I'm telling you right now, there seems to be something to the effect that a lot of these entities or this phenomena can sense and avoid infrared light, and it doesn't biologically make sense. You have other animals that will be able to detect trail cams.
Prospecting USA Hunting's America's Treasures says that elk can see infrared. Is this true?
No, reindeer can see ultraviolet.
I wish I was like Joe Rogan and be like, Jamie, Google that, you know. Joe, Google that.
There's something on here actually. Oh, no, they're talking about seeing infrared reflective fabric.
Cowboy 4572 almost died making spaghetti.
I am not seeing anything with elk being able to see an infrared. If you've got a link to that, you can throw it to us. And here's the deal. It might come out.
If you've got the sauce.
And it might eventually come out where they show that a particular animal can see an infrared, and then we're back to the drawing board at this point. Maybe then we go, there's a precedent in nature. You know what I'm saying? So I would look to see if you're trying to explain that it's an ape, do any other primates see an infrared?
Yeah. Primates
usually use some visual capabilities because your brain gets more, you know, you have better thought process and decision making and stuff like that. But I don't know, it does. But I mean, we time after time, we've heard people talk about how, when I say talk about, I'm not even talking about repeat stories, like tell us what they experienced.
Right.
We had an old mountain road on the side of a mountain that literally wrapped up the side of a mountain that we were catching big footprints on, You've never released that footage, have you?
No.
We put a trail cam out.
It's actually cool footage.
It's cool footage.
We're in the snow the whole time.
We put a trail cam out to see if we could catch what it was. Well, whatever in the hell it was, went up the side of a hill and behind the trail cam and then got back on the road after it. So it's obvious that not only did it know the trail cam was there, but it knew where the trail cam,
because there was like a small cave up there. You were trying to
get whatever was getting into that cave. And guess what? I didn't do it because it knew exactly where to go and where not to go.
Yeah, the ground was completely like beaten around.
Even if you knew, stay away from the front of it.
Yeah.
I mean, it stopped right before the infrared picked up and then went out. It was the weirdest freaking thing. So there's something to it, man.
Maybe they can.
Huh?
We've never really gotten anything on trail cam.
I've really got anything on trail cam.
I'm yet to see a trail cam photo of anything that is conclusive as well.
Yeah.
In terms of anything that seems anomalous. So, but again, it's hard to say what's real and what's not real anymore with the advancements in AI. And we go into that conversation.
Yeah. Well, Centurion had a thing, assuming that Bigfoot follows our laws of evolution. But here's, again, you get to this, is that if it's a monkey that can emit, they can generate and direct infrasound and cause effects with infrasound that no other creature on Earth does. If it is a mammal, a bipedal mammal that can see in infrared like no other bipedal mammal or mammal can do, you start throwing all of these abilities to it, and it's unlike anything else on the planet.
Like the self-illuminating eyes.
Self-illuminating eyes. So you have optical receptors that are now emitting light. They're reading, your basically eyes are reading visible light bouncing off of something. But now they're emitting visible light as well. There's no evolutionary, nothing else on Earth does that. So all of a sudden now, if it's a monkey, it ain't a monkey that's from here. Okay. It's a monkey from somewhere else, and maybe it comes from a place where self-illuminating eyes are common. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't follow our natural biological laws that every other creature on the planet seems to follow to some way, shape, or form.
This is an interesting thing because I think we've suggested this to somebody before. People use trail cams to keep them away from their property and house. We had somebody contact us about a very aggressive
with kids, very aggressive with children.
Very aggressive with children, but it was way outside of our travel zone. And we couldn't get up there. We couldn't get up there to investigate it. It was way outside of our realm of travel. So, our big suggestion was to ring the property.
He used a mixture of Arlo cameras and trail cams.
Yeah, because the Arlo has that has an IR light on it.
Yeah.
Anybody that uses that or use ring lights, any kind of night vision camera like that knows that it emits an IR light and picks up like that. So a combination of that, you can almost what would that be, like geofencing in a way?
That's what we did. That's what we did for it.
Fencing.
He had. And he wasn't even calling them Sasquatch because he was in Oklahoma. These things were skinny. And he kept saying, and this has stuck with me ever since we talked to this guy, they moved like crackheads because he said they were very quick, but they're jerky. And here's the deal. They might not have even been Sasquatch. They were upright and hairy. That might have been something else altogether. They had big-ish feet. But they were constantly trying to get up to his children's room, and he kept seeing them around his kids had an outdoor play area, like a jungle gym and stuff like that, like a little fort playhouse type thing. He would come out, and he popped out one night and opened up on one of them with an AR and said that he couldn't track it fast enough to hit it. But they would always jump up and leave from the play area. The play area is where they were attracted to. So talking to him, he just completely surrounded his house. And he had footage of something crawling next to the play area, trying to still work its way up to that play area.
Dedication.
Dedication, but you couldn't make out what it was. But he was like, they've stopped coming anywhere around the house, but they still keep trying to get up to this play area for some reason. This dude was like flipped. He eventually sent his family off. Like legit sent his family off, sold the property. You always hear about these people that are having these issues, and you're like, sell the freaking property, get away from there. He legit did. He was just like, my family's no longer with me. I sent the kids to stay with wasn't the grandparents, it was like an aunt or an uncle. his aunt or uncle, so like a great aunt or uncle. And he goes, we're selling the house. We're moving. I can't deal with this. You know, I can't
Selling it at a loss.
I
too.
can't have my kids in a situation like this.
Yeah.
But again, the IR kept him back, but they were just constantly trying to get him in. And he'd find rocks and sticks that were right at the edge of where the trail cam would pick it up. And he's like, they're marking the cameras.
Yeah.
They're marking the cameras. They are marking the cameras.
That's terrifying.
What made him start moving, though, is he started to suffer camera failure for no known reason whatsoever. The cameras would stop working, and he was just going, I can't do this now. He goes, I can't keep my kids in this situation. And you're at that point where you're going, again, this is somebody who we don't know. We're not there on the ground. We're talking to this guy remotely. We're seeing video clips that he's sending us. We're talking to him constantly. But when he's literally going, I've sent the kids away and I'm selling this property, man. I'm going to take a loss at it to get away. All of a sudden, you know, if there was room for a hoax there, at that point, room for that hoax is gone.
Grace says it sounds straight up demonic to her. Stingray 1975 says they're attracted to the monkey bars.
Oh, that was subtle but good. Damn.
I feel like he's smoking a pipe and wearing a
just making
jacket.
little pronouncements like this.
It's the monkey bars.
It's the monkey bars. So,
if you must know the truth about these creatures, it is the monkey bars.
And a couple things here, real quick. Terry McCullough reading the Arrow report. They really beat the drum about it not being aliens. Maybe they know what it is, and it worries them more than aliens would. Apparently, they did focus on the extraterrestrial aspect of it and not the NHI, non-human intelligence or interdimensional stuff. And then LW had said, I don't think that Grush is knowingly spreading any disinformation. He seems sincere. He does seem sincere. And I just want to take both these comments to say something to the people out there that don't really give two flips about UFOs or UAPs. I was right there with you a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? I did not find the topic
every time something about aliens would come on, I'd be like, I hate aliens.
I don't really care. I don't care. It's one of those things that I'm just like, I don't care. It's just, maybe it's because the topic seemed too vast for me, or no, I just think I don't care. I didn't care back then. I just didn't care. But you have to look at it like this. You have to look at the fact that there are legit people talking about UFOs. Were right there with Bigfoot. And
again, go back to Gary Nolan. He has hundreds of patents in the biomedical field. I mean, he's not a kook. He's not a crackpot. And
they're talking about one of the things that they were all lumped together. Sorry, Loch Ness Monster, Bigfoot, UFOs was all considered
triggered
crazy talk. Okay. Yeah. Well, now all of a sudden, one of those topics is no longer crazy talk to an ever-growing segment of the population. And if we get some movement on this, and they finally get some answers, or get some, maybe not all the answers, but maybe you know what would be good enough for people to go, we don't know what it is, but there's something there. A lot of people that are not closed off to the truth, they're going to go, well, what else weird out there is really going on that we thought was ridiculous at first? And that's when you're going to have some spillover effect into the other weird stuff out there. Bigfoot, Dogman, all managers of high strangeness. You're going to start getting the spillover from that point. Yeah. So this is important. And somebody was trying to low-key give me crap going, well, I don't think that Bigfoot's come out of UFOs. I don't think so either. You know what I'm saying? I think that they might have some certain aspects of both phenomena might be conjoined somehow, but I don't think that UFOs are landing and Bigfoot are getting out. But I ain't going to rule that out. And
there seems to be some overlap there, though.
But guess what? Even if there's not, even if we're just misreading the data,
that opens the fact that what's going on with UAPs and disclosure and what we're being told, what we're not being told, that as soon as that starts to become legit, that opens the door to the actual possibility of something like Sasquatch being a reality.
Yep. Excuse me. But that's the thing, is that even if you don't find UFOs interesting, you better start finding them interesting, because this is going to has the potential to be the thing that cracks open. Let's say you're only into Bigfoot. Well, guess what? If we can get some movement on this,
you better start believing in ghost stories, kid. Because
yeah, exactly right. So it's going to bleed over to that thing, and then maybe some of these people that have the resources. When I say resources, I mean like tech companies worth hundreds of millions of dollars with specialized equipment that Jesse and I can only dream of. Accesses to resources they may start looking into this stuff as well. And then we might start seeing some movement, man. So
Well, you've got the gathering of like the Soul Foundation,
Yeah,
you've
you
got
might-
like a gathering of minds in that.
Mhm.
And that's, there was Grush talked about, we need some fresh minds on this, that
Mhm.
we've had these legacy people in government who have been looking at these topics for so long, and we've not really gotten anywhere on it because we've just had these legacy people looking on it. Was it also Gary Nolan who said that maybe we've had a lot of people who were disqualified over the years due to
because they're smoking the reefer.
smoking the
Because they're
reefer?
smoking the reefer.
And so I guess he got tired of bitching about it and decided to organize everybody up.
He said that some of the best and brightest people in physics out there smoke weed quite a bit, and that a lot of
They
them
can't get the clearances.
they can't get clearances to look at some of this stuff. So, hey Henry, I'm going to reach out to you about these cameras with the invisible IR. I think I saw you mention something about that once before, but interested in seeing how those work for you. But again, that's the thing that we come back to, is that we have got to. Catherine Gay finally joined and became a member.
Welcome, Catherine.
Catherine, welcome.
Welcome to the fold.
Welcome to the fold, Catherine. We appreciate that. Thank you so much. So, we greatly appreciate that, Catherine. Thank you. So, again, that's all I'm going to say about that, is that the world's weird. We've at least got people beyond, because we take this seriously, okay? We
Yeah.
take this seriously. I think that, because I'm going to put the Skinwalker Ranch crew, because mostly that's a private organization now, the guys researching Skinwalker Ranch. I would honestly say that they're the only private group out there that has more resources and equipment than we do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Small, well, there may be some big Bigfoot groups that have a lot of people that would contribute money, but as far as taking a tech and a data-driven approach to it, okay, using tech in novel and interesting ways that haven't been done
And understanding
before,
how to use
understanding how to use it, looking for stuff that doesn't normally get looked at. I'd say we're definitely as good as a two-person organization could be, and I think that we hit above our weight class. You know what I'm saying? We punch better than we should, because we're obsessed with it. It takes all of our resources. We live it 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but here's the deal. At the end of the day, we're still two people. We talked about the guy in Oklahoma. We couldn't get to him. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, because that's outside of our
we still have-
travels.
we still have
we
to
can't fly with our equipment because we have case after case after case of equipment.
But here's the deal. You start getting really heavy hitters. We're talking private helicopters, people that can leave and be on scene within hours after something happens.
Well, Robert Bigelow had his task force
that could respond
within 24 hours.
And
he funded that, but it took a private billionaire with an interest in the subject to do that.
Well, guess what? And that's what the UAP topic has now. You have people who are putting their money where their mouth's at.
That was where Colm Kelleher got started out in the field and started looking at cattle mutilations.
And again, if you're sitting there still going, guys, stop talking about UFOs. I want to hear about Bigfoot and Dogman.
I know I labeled the episode, but we let it go where it goes.
It goes.
It goes.
I'm going to break those shackles and do what I want. So, but again, if you look at this, pay attention to how the people if anybody's in the know, the people that are in the know, and how they respond when people start asking them about the physical things on the ground, the things that go bump in the night. We've always talked about this. They get uncomfortable. They acknowledge that there's something there, and then they kind of change the subject.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's obvious. I keep looking at this going, they're using UFOs as the gateway drug because it's palatable. Okay?
Yeah.
But they
it's
know
that's, it's strangely enough plausible to most people.
So, but they know that something else is going on there. You can tell by the way they
Plus, they've used predictive programming for years to kind of prime everybody for this kind of disclosure.
Exactly. So, but you're looking at it going, they know something else is going on out there. And hopefully, if at least a small part of the truth gets out about UFOs, then people are going to go, well, what else is out there?
Yeah.
You know, and then they'll go, I'm glad you asked. You know what I'm saying? That's not the only weird thing we're dealing with here. So
LW Marshall has an interesting thing here. He goes, I've never understood the idea of Bigfoot must be paranormal. If UFOs can abduct a human, it could abduct a Sasquatch. If orbs fly around people, they can fly around a Sasquatch. But the two are not connected.
see, I don't know if I don't think it has to be paranormal, and I don't think it has to be flesh and blood. We're dealing with unknowns. We don't even know what we don't know at this point. Okay.
But it's also a definitive statement to say that they're not connected, and to say that Sasquatch is just another victim of these UFOs or these flying light anomalies, you know?
Yeah.
That's a pretty definitive, that's as definitive as someone saying they are connected, you know?
Well, I don't think that.
I would say, I think they're connected. I theorize they're connected, but I think making a complete affirmation of that and saying that proof positive, I'm going to say that they are not connected, that Sasquatch is not connected to any of this stuff, is just as false as saying that they
So what's
are
LW
connected.
saying here? He's saying that the two are not connected.
He doesn't think they're connected.
They may not be. Here's the deal.
That's a possibility that they're
It
not.
might be Lord of the freaking Rings out there. There might be a bunch of different.
And then it'll be Lord of the Flies in here.
But we always go, it's one of two things. Either that there's a bunch of different unconnected weird stuff going on out there, or maybe it's all one phenomenon that's expressing its way, like John Keel type stuff, super spectrum. It's expressing itself in different avenues, maybe dependent upon who's looking at it at the time. Remember our favorite line from
Mothman
from the Mothman prophecies? What do you look like? Well, it depends on who's looking at me.
Yeah.
You know. But here's the deal. As I go to this, though, I go to this and I go, I think my current theory is that there's something out there that behaves like an animal that looks like Bigfoot. Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's other things out there that behave anything like anything but an animal that looks like Bigfoot. Okay.
So I could be wrong about the Sabe Intergalactic Council.
Let's take the Grove, for example. I don't see there being a breeding population of anything they're staying on.
No, not with the size of the area. No.
But are we not getting out
Weird
the wazoo,
stuff, yeah.
like Bigfoot reports from there and everything like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
that's where I got that thermal of whatever that was kind of peeking out from behind the tree into those tiny footprints. And we got strange sounds on the last couple of trips we've been out there. And in the video I'm working on right now, there's weird sounds in it, and we follow them to our doom.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's pretty paranormal. That's got kind of that's got more fae connotations to it in a way, you know?
Mhm.
And so now we're that's a whole other
Well, but
kettle of fish.
if you look at traditional fae lore, fairy folklore from Western Europe, and then you look at some of the weirder North American Bigfoot reports, there ain't a lot of difference between the two.
Yeah.
In a way, you know, Sasquatch often behaves just like a large, hairy fairy, like a member of the fae. So, all right.
Hairy fairy.
The hairy fairy. Yeah, there you go. So,
Yeah, that's my contribution for tonight. Thank you, guys.
we're done. We're getting out. So Julie Bug's in, got a bad migraine. Nobody's feeling good.
Go get you an IV, girl.
But here's the deal. All right. So you get back to this, that because people are talking right now about peanut butter going missing. People see Sasquatch doing really weird wooey stuff. Yeah, it would be me. I have a tendency to eat peanut butter right out of the jar.
In the middle of the night.
In the middle of the night. Making a sandwich is just too much trouble.
And the knife on the sink.
Yeah, well, I might want peanut butter down the road, and I don't want the knife touching the bottom of the sink.
That's an inherent quality that men have. It's like universal, and you guys didn't even discuss it with each other. You just all do it.
I've streamlined the process. Most dudes are making sandwiches in the middle of the night. Who's got time for
You're
all
straight
that?
to the peanut
I'm
butter.
straight to the peanut butter, and I'm in.
Period.
So, but people are talking about that the peanut butter goes missing. So you do have Bigfoot reports that they leave scat. Obviously, they're leaving physical marks on the ground, which natural creatures do. But pretty much almost every other paranormal phenomenon does the same damn thing. Look at some of the rituals that are tied in with, especially domestic, like house fairies, like brownies, things like that. In Western Europe, you leave food offerings out to them. They eat food. Okay. ghosts, what was one of the earliest ways for like early ghost hunters to know that a ghost was in the house?
Yeah.
They'd put flour out on the floor and footprints would appear. So that's something immaterial leaving tangible like traces on.
And we've had one of our viewers suggest that we use flour to go into the footprints.
That's a good idea. Still, I still like that idea.
Maybe that's a fairy suggesting these things that we do.
But here's the
now
deal.
we got fairies interacting with us.
At this point, you can't rule anything out. Well, I'm going to rule this out. I don't think there's a breeding population of relic hominids in the Grove. It's just not, given the surrounding area. I don't think that's possible. But something's happening there. Okay, something is happening there. But then think of some of the other areas we've gone to when we've stood on the side of a mountain and looked out and gone, yeah, some stuff could stay hidden out here, you know, with very little effort. If you've got something that can move better, especially through a wooded area, move better than you through it, it wouldn't take a lot for them to stay hidden from it. And then people are like, well, you know, thermal drones. Well, if thermal technology was foolproof, there would never be another lost hiker again that wasn't found.
Correct.
Because
unless they were dead.
Well, yeah. So, but if they, because you can't, thermal won't work through like trees. You know what I'm saying? So all you got to do is stand behind something solid, and thermal no longer works anymore.
I definitely know that.
Yes.
I definitely know that. Because I, like, in these areas, especially in the summer, oh my God, my thermal is absolutely useless most of the time.
It's useless.
And it's a great thermal, but like when the brush is so thick, you can only see as far as that. Like, and you just, it's not X-ray vision. It's not Superman X-ray vision when you can see it through everything. Things are going to block it. And even on foggy nights, you know, that wreaks havoc on it.
Mm-hmm. Grace has got an idea. If you think about aliens and how much they seem obsessed with reproduction, same thing with a lot of paranormal, like the Fae, again, changelings, succubi, incubi, everything like that. There's always a reproductive element to a lot of this stuff. I don't see why Bigfoot or Dogman couldn't be some alien hybrid experiments. They could be. They very well could be. It could be tied into that. I mean, now I will say this though, just as a quick little aside, there's a segment of folklore called the Monkey Bride, which and it's pretty much cross-cultural. It's across a lot of different cultures.
I was talking about the Woods Wife on
same thing
on Wide Open Research. The last part I talked about that story from the Grove.
Same thing. There's a long, and it doesn't matter where you're going to, like, you know, pre-Columbian, like Native Americans, you know, the Far East, Europe. There's a stream of stories that are all lumped under the Monkey Bride umbrella, where a hairy, maybe a monkey, maybe a gorilla, maybe an unknown, just, you know, whatever culture's version of the Sasquatch, takes a woman, and then somebody has to try to get it back because it's taking it as a bride. So there's a reproductive quality to that. You know, they're trying to take this human woman as a mate, and that ties in. What was the movie that had the Woods Wife at the end of it?
Oh, it wasn't exist.
Willow Creek.
Willow Creek.
Willow Creek. Yeah.
Yes. Marcus Aurelius goes, what would be more valuable in this universe than genetic material?
Exactly. So,
and there's some other things.
LW had gone. He goes, you can't make a definitive statement. You can't make a definitive statement about any of this stuff. Some would say Bigfoot is paranormal. End of story. Here's the deal. I would say that that's the wrong stance to take, but I can't say that they would be wrong, because maybe they're proven right. There's a chance that where I'm making a pretty harsh statement about the Grove, maybe if I knew the answer out there, I'd look at it and go, this is something it's so obvious now but again, it'd be something that behaves unlike anything else out there. You can't really, and like I left myself a little bit of wiggle room. We don't know of any warm-blooded animals that can see an infrared, but maybe it's I don't know, maybe it's like a genetic one-off, you know, it's the only, if it's the only species that can do that, it's the only species that can do a lot of stuff. You know, it's a real kind of little side quest on, you know, human, or not human, but just, you know, earthly evolution of animals here.
Yeah.
So
Marcus Aurelius came in with this one here. If you want to spout off on that one.
One day the human race will be entering planets across the galaxy, and those inhabitants will be denying our presence as we do now with the ones who simply came before us. It's not paranormal.
It's just normal.
No, it is normal. I mean, that ties into what we were talking about last week, that I think a lot of people and even planes and everything like that that go missing. Bermuda Triangle, the Malaysian aircraft, people going missing with missing 411. I think that there are other planets, realms, dimensions, whatever. They show up there and they become that place's version of folklore. They talk about this thing was running around. It was tall and didn't have a lot of hair, and it was wearing these strange, the pieces of cloth over its body. We tried to feed it; it couldn't eat any of our food, and then it died. Or their version of the government came and took it away and has it in like a little box and anywhere like that. So we talked about airplanes going missing.
I wasn't listening to you. I'm so sorry. I just got distracted by a comment.
What's the comment?
Bigfoot Outlaws had a story with a lady and an old mattress in her yard, and her and Sasquatch would go for a romp in Oklahoma.
Damn, Sasquatch, why you gotta be throwing that at us? So I'm unfamiliar with that, but that doesn't.
I'm thankful I'm unfamiliar with that. Thank you. Thank you. That's like that Sasquatch Chronicles episode where that guy is like turned on by the Bigfoot.
He found the Bigfoot very attractive.
That is
physically attractive.
I cannot listen to that episode ever again. I will throw myself off a bridge.
People, that's like I think one of the most popular episodes out there.
I'm sure it is, because I'm just like, this guy will not stop talking about how hot this Bigfoot is, and I'm just like disturbed by it. Deeply.
When you got it, you got it. So
carry on.
All right. I don't even know what
I'm sorry I interrupted you.
That's all right. I totally lost that train of thought. So, I was talking about planes going missing, boats going missing, Bermuda Triangle, whatever. Maybe people always talk about, if these, with the assumption that UFOs are from another planet and they traveled through physical space and then they landed and came here. They traveled all those light years just to come here and crash. And I'm going, maybe they didn't travel any light years at all. Maybe they were zipping around doing whatever they were doing on whatever planet they're on, whatever dimension they're in. And then there was a bright light. And then all of a sudden they were here. Whoosh. And either their instrumentation didn't work here. Maybe it was dependent upon some sort of like Tesla type, broadcast energy type thing. And all of a sudden they were cut off from that and they crashed, or they ran out of fuel or whatever. And they're going, I don't know how the hell I got here. Where am I? Or their version of it. And maybe there's a place out there somewhere where a jetliner, there was a flash of light and all of a sudden it landed, and their version of scientists are looking at it going, they burn like basically organic matter. And then they get a thrust out of the rear of this thing. And then that's how it travels, and then it just flies. And it's the craziest thing. Two people sat in the front and they just, and they're looking at it. It's completely different. And they're going, we got to keep this hidden. Our population can't know about this. We'd have chaos here, so.
They can't know about these dinosaur fueled birds in the sky. I forgot to do this, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there we go. Now you know who we are. You had no idea before, I'm sure.
Who's that?
I forgot to put up our names.
Bam. All right. Didn't even notice. So, all right. Shane McGullard asked, did you guys ever figure out the trip where your lightning alarm goes off and there was no storms in the area? That's happened a couple of times.
Yeah.
Now, we have tested every time that happens, somebody just goes, oh, such and such set it off. We cross-test all of our equipment together. It doesn't really set it off at this point. The only thing that will set off is if we're using our signal booster, our cell booster. The spectrum analyzer will pick up that very specific range, and it's very, very elevated signal, but we know that.
Yeah.
But that's happened a couple of times. That's happened a couple of times with particular areas we've gone to that it's just gone off. There's been a sudden emission of energy that we can't quite explain. So, and we've been out a couple of times when it's like storming in the distance, and we've even gone, lightning detector is going to be useless because there's legit lightning a few miles away from here, So no clue at this point.
And so Cyril says that you just described Land of the Lost when you were talking about different.
That is true. Yes. Oh my God. I did. Yes. Oh my Lord. Yeah.
There, you thought you had a novel idea. You're just going to.
What were those things called?
What now? There's a little person and a Corinthian leather salesman who's going to make all your dreams come true next.
Hey, hold on.
Is that what's coming?
So wasn't there with Land of the Lost? There was a little like hairy creature with that too. Yeah, but what was that? Chaka. All right. Oh, hell yeah. All right. Predictive programming.
The Slee Stacks.
Yes.
Predictive programming. Yes, it did. It prepared you for this.
Steve's video experience. Thank you for that, sir. Bigfoot snack money.
I just got to stick to the Vienna sausages.
Yeah, just Jesse snack money is what it's going to be.
You remember my health was so great when I was just eating
trucker snacks. And
here I'm trying to eat fresh, good food, and I'm just dying.
Oh, Lord.
I wasn't raised on it. My body's not used to it.
Everybody's had some peanut butter experiences, apparently. So.
Oh, yes. That peanut butter really shook them all up.
I just hit the Bigfoot mattress. I'm like hella behind on the chat here right now.
Okay.
So.
Jesus Christ. I just can't deal with the Bigfoot banging people stuff.
Is that, boy, I know our audience, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Mr. Drive-By Trucker, who had a awesome comment before we went live, by the way. He goes, I feel like I need to go on a bender. Get it? So,
is that what we're going to
pretty awesome. Yeah. So, why do UFOs need lights? That's the thing, is that the contradictory nature of all of this stuff, all of it is so contradictory. What are most of Bigfoot sightings? Roadside crossings, right?
Yes.
Where's the one that's like just a little bit too slow, or the one that just slips a little bit? I mean, the most graceful animal in the world
comes across a banana peel.
Yes. That's what we need to be doing.
An errant
Screw all the rest of this stuff. We need to be abolishing speed limits nationwide.
Yeah.
And having a nationwide network of just fresh banana peels thrown on all the roadways. And we'll clear this up and
solve it.
But where's the one that is just slow or clumsy or just slipped on something, stepped wrong? I mean, the most graceful animal in the world just busts its ass sometimes, Why do UFOs need lights? Why do they need illumination? Is there like FAA regulations wherever they came from, or their version of it, that they have to have running lights to it? It seems it's contradictory, and sometimes it's absurd. Jacques Vallée used to talk about that, how the phenomenon armored itself in absurdity. How it seems like it does absurd things just to make people go, well, this doesn't make any sense. Back in like the 50s and 60s, there were a lot of reports of UFOs broken down on the side of the road. Somebody would be on a desert highway by themselves and come around a corner, and there's a UFO broken down, and like little green men with wrenches, working on it. That doesn't seem possible. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't seem possible in the slightest.
Rap Master goes, perhaps they have regulations for flight visibility.
Exactly.
Too.
So, but it doesn't make sense. How does this creature that so many people see, we don't have any like real definitive hard proof on that would convince the mainstream scientific community? Why do UFOs seem to take place, like their sightings seem to take place for the most part, in times where there's not a lot of people? There's still people. It's like they want a little bit of an audience, but not much, It just
that John Keel thing.
Yeah, just none of it makes sense. So
Mr. Firemouth asks, he goes, I never see you guys talk about snakes. Aren't you afraid of walking on a snake?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm terrified.
We don't include that in the video generally. So, but we've talked about snakes on the live stream before,
and actually, I've started carrying a telescoping carbon fiber monopod. And when we went out into the Grove recently on a warm day, I was probing before we went into a certain area. And I always kind of look out for it, but I'm terrified. One day we're gonna get got one day by something.
We're looking at we're gonna add in
gators
this year.
Yeah, I think that's we looked at snake boots.
And hiking that
and
10 miles in snake boots.
No, and they fall apart if you use them too much. But so we're gonna probably invest in some really good gators this year, especially if we're gonna go into some areas that are very, very heavily snake ridden.
And like I said in the past, we used to take the hottest months of the summer off just because it sucks. We've got to see how the cicadas are going to affect us
audio
this year.
Collection.
Our audio this year, because there were times we tried to go out and the cicadas were so bad that nothing. Nothing would. Cameras, audio recorders, nothing would. All you would catch is that cicada sound. Tracy had a thing. She go to me, and this is because of my faith. These entities are demons pretending to be anything they want. They will play along to be whatever you want them to be. I'm rereading The Eighth Tower by John Keel right now, and where he talks about how he thinks it's like all involved, like all comes from a super spectrum, this like weird universal like energy that just kind of like manifests in different ways, and that it manifests sometimes based upon what the person thinks that they're going to see, and then sometimes like maybe according to like some unknown rationale that only it is aware of.
Yeah.
He doesn't come out and say it, but it almost sounds like he's like, it takes humor in presenting itself in different ways sometimes. So
this is Chris Jackson. He's been a member for 4 months. Thank you, Chris
Thank you for that,
Jackson.
Chris.
So Bigfoot corn, you have to say corn.
Corn now,
Like corn
so-
on the cob, okay?
oh, it's a huge thing.
You have to say corn on the cob, because I remember one time we were talking about something like this, and
That show did not do well.
you got us in trouble.
Got us.
Corn on the cob. So Bigfoot corn on the cob is real. Yeah. Actually, one of the funniest things I remember is we like to stop at used bookstores when we go on like these big trips. Last time we were going to the LBL, we stopped at a used bookstore.
Mhm.
Where was it? It's where the smaller Buc-ee's is in Tennessee.
That's your landmark.
That's what landmark. So we stopped at the used bookstore there, and I was like, do you have any because we were looking around and we're like, do you have any like, paranormal books or new age books or anything like that? Because we like to see if there's anything we can pick up when we're out of town and stuff. And she goes, yeah, they're over there. And I go, there's no Jeff Meldrum,
John Green.
Nothing
like that.
No, it's horny Bigfoot books.
It's all horny Bigfoot
and
books.
it's horny ghost books.
Whole section of horny Bigfoot and horny ghost books.
Yes, it is. That's all it is. And I'm like, are they?
And check it out. We didn't walk up and take a look at that section and then just nope right out. We stood there and just stared
In awe.
and they were probably over there going, oh, we're going to actually sell a horny Bigfoot or horny ghost book. Actually, they probably sell them all the damn time.
That's probably a hot seller.
probably
They
what's
had it pretty
keeping
close to the front of the store.
Probably what's keeping the lights on. You know what I'm saying? So
horny Bigfoot. Keeping
But it is
small
a
businesses
huge-
alive.
I will occasionally just kind of do an Amazon search just to see what's new in like the Bigfoot world. And usually the first, when you're looking for Bigfoot books, it's usually the first couple of like things that come back. It's something along the lines of ravaged by the mountain monster or something like that. So Tracy, Tracy re-asked that with a super chat. Thank you for that, Tracy.
Going back to the banana peels, Grace goes, finally, we have a plan.
But
We've missed it all these years.
even if, and here's the deal, just like you can't rule anything out, people on either side of the religious debate, some people are going, it has to be a biblical explanation for this. And other people are just like, don't bring religion into it. Well, even if you're not a religious person, you have to be open to the idea that people thousands of years ago were experiencing these things. And maybe we're a little closer to the phenomena than we are today. And this is what I'm a big proponent of. Superstition, religion, folklore, tradition is how our ancestors kind of like passed this stuff along to us. I mean, to me, my big thing is that folklore and religion is what our ancestors knew and what they experienced. And a lot of superstition is how they left for us to deal with it. Okay. And a lot of stuff is some tried or true methods of what they found effective or what they found to do or not to do when you were dealing with this weird stuff. Thank you again for that, Tracy. We appreciate it.
Quinn Montoya, who is a historian on the subject, says, according to a Rolling Stone article, Bigfoot erotica was published as far back as the 1977.
Is there really a Rolling Stone article on that? So don't post that link. Well, I guess
it's a Rolling Stone article.
Anyway,
I had something. Centurion Legio, our new member. Careful, Joe. Mixing peanut butter in those bananas might bring on an increase in Elvis sightings.
Damn right, man.
I'd love to be an Elvis hunting channel. Let's just make that conversion. How fun.
How awesome would it be to do a second channel? Because, is Elvis still sighted places like he used to be? Because there was all that stuff about
I had an Elvis guardian angel.
What?
I never told you this.
You've never told me this. What is it?
I've had, when I was like a teenager, I had like two near terrible experiences that occurred to me. And because of my Elvis guardian angel.
How do you know it's an Elvis guardian angel?
Because he looked just like Elvis. But I saw him right before these bad things would happen, but I survived them. Or was he an omen, like a Mothman? Do you think? This sounds crazy, doesn't it? Now I'm talking. I sound crazy when I'm
I
talking.
just said it
Just
with my
out
mouth
loud.
open for like 90 seconds. Just going. So.
when I was like 16, let me tell you this story. This is interesting. When I was 16, me and my two best friends were gonna go see the Passion of the Christ. So we loaded up in my 1985 Buick Regal Limited, and we went thrift shopping. And in one of these thrift stores near where we live now,
Okay.
actually near where we stand today, I saw Elvis. It was a guy that looked exactly like Elvis
Standing on the side of the road.
in
just
the
doing
thrift
one-
store.
In the
just
thrift. Okay.
perusing.
Okay.
Glasses, everything. It wasn't jumpsuit Elvis, but it was leisure suit Elvis. Okay.
Okay. All right.
A little chunky.
A little chunky.
But
All
it
right.
looked just like Elvis.
Nothing wrong. Still Elvis.
Just still Elvis. Perfect. I mean, his hair was perfect, Werewolf in London style. But he was there, and then shortly thereafter, boom, I got rear-ended by a Christian rock band. Where
How the hell have I never? All right. So
I was sitting in a
So
red.
how did Elvis save your life in that instance?
He was like
A harbinger of doom?
harbinger of doom. Maybe he wasn't a guardian angel. Maybe I was just looking into this in a positive way. Maybe he's like
Maybe he caused the accident.
maybe Elvis is my Mothman.
Maybe if you had not have seen him, you would have left that store a little earlier and
Yeah.
not been struck by this Christian rock. It was like a van with a Christian rock band.
It was a large SUV with a Christian rock band in it. They were speeding, and I was at a red light, and I was rear-ended by a Christian rock band. I'm probably not the only person that can say that, but yes, and it totaled my car. I had
Okay.
like broken ribs and severe whiplash, but my Elvis sighting was like a Mothman sighting.
So Elvis sightings are still taking place as late as 2022. So
Now I want to see the
he'd be in
chat.
his
when we're
80s at
talking
this
about this
point.
craziness.
But we could totally do. We could totally do like with all the spare time that we have. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'm like, what?
It's gonna be another one of these things that looks good on paper, and then we just go, we don't have time for this. But it would be awesome
These are just our dreams.
to go out there and just investigate Elvis sightings. You know what I'm saying? Interview witnesses. Look for Elvis scat. Look for hair samples.
It's going to be 4 months old.
Because he had that 4-month-old turd stuck.
That's
in him.
what killed
That's
him.
what killed him. Is the 4-month-old turd. This is why we don't get invited, or when people.
I don't understand why nobody invites us to
People
things.
will invite us to like speak at conferences, and then they all of a sudden nope out on us, and we don't hear anything else.
We also don't get invited to weddings or baby showers, so
because they're going, hey, those like Bigfoot people that you invited to speak at the conference, and well, I mean, everybody was the really weird ones from South Carolina. Oh, the dude and the chick. Yeah, what about it? I turned on their live stream the other night. They're talking about
Elvis turds.
Elvis turds.
Number one.
And they'll just be like, yeah, let's just delete them out of our phone real quick. So
this Elvis turd hunting, well, not the turd hunting.
No, that's the ultimate conclusion. The ultimate conclusion is it's like, all right, here's the deal. That's the ultimate. We start off with like looking for like Elvis sightings, but then remember that History Channel show when they were looking for Nazis in like South America, trying to figure out whether Hitler was alive or not?
Hunting Hitler.
We're trying to find what happened to the turd that killed Elvis. It's out there somewhere, locked behind a vault.
It could be killing people right now. Has David Paulides looked into that one?
The Elvis killer turds responsible for missing 411?
Yeah, that's going to be the next missing 411 movie.
I think we just lost like 50 people that were watching this show right now. Well, you know what? Good riddance to them.
He's going to be like, oh, it's probably Bigfoot. No, it's probably aliens. No.
If you don't love us at our killer Elvis turd, then you don't deserve us at our Dogman. Anyway.
All right. Now I'm getting down to the chat where I started talking about this craziness. I can't believe I never told you about my Mothman Elvis.
No, I didn't know that at all. And Martin Probst just comes in with a comment. Elvis is in the building.
Yeah, I hope not, because that's when I have near-death experiences. The other one, I was almost kidnapped.
This is crazy.
At the jockey lot. I was almost kidnapped.
Jockey lot is a huge
flea market.
Where
I was almost kidnapped.
It's huge. It's
I
like
was almost kidnapped.
You can go buy like socks for like, 5 pairs for like $1.
$1 machetes.
Machetes.
You can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong with $1 machete. Actually, you could go insanely wrong with $1 machete.
We have.
Good God. Anyway.
Michael Russell says, Jesse, have you tried writing a book? I reckon you would be a mix of Louis L'Amour and Robert Louis Stevenson with your knowledge.
We do. We actually have plans.
I think it would be like that, and then maybe a little Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah. We are probably going to, over the next year,
A little Bret Easton Ellis.
You'll probably see us write a couple of books because actually, I don't know. We might write a book. Who knows? But one of them would probably just be like a year in the life of what we do here, which would just be kind of Hunter Thompson-esque, you know, and then the other one would be kind of like serious, like a serious book.
Missouri Broad says, Elvis is my Mothman t-shirt. Let's make it as obscure as possible.
You know what? Here's the deal, is that all you got is, I'm in the poop portion of the chat right now. And then Way of the Sploot, keeping it serious. In the midst of all this goes, I would love a look at the Vatican archives. Well, everybody else is talking
I would as well.
Yeah, but everybody else is like in here talking, way to class up the joint, Way of the Sploot. Thank you for that.
Was that your foot?
That was my foot, yes.
Oh.
So
I thought it was something crashing in there, like two
no.
cats battling for a pot roast or something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get through the chat.
I'm trying to get through the chat.
Make sure you hit that like button. Everybody.
Yeah, come on, man.
Don't run away. Elvis is my Mothman. Small town Elvis documentary. I don't think Seth's going to touch the Elvis phenomenon. He might. Oh, you know what? Ristol's completely correct about this.
What is it?
When it comes to the scat, if it exists, I will step in it. That's how we'll find it.
Damn, why did we not make that connection? Good Lord.
Slow in the brain.
Here, Hawk veers us back into good territory. Thank you for that, Hawk. We appreciate that, buddy. Our religious history deemed anything paranormal was decreed to be satanic or demonic, but it was viewed as common knowledge and a well-accepted part of life, even in ancient civilizations. Yeah, it's weird how up until fairly recently, this stuff was considered just a fact of life. And people always go, oh, well, you know, they were the unwashed masses of the past. You know, they were idiots back then. No, they're pretty freaking smart. I mean, I don't think I'm halfway intelligent. You're halfway intelligent. If somebody went, hey, build me this pyramid, I'd go, I have no clue. What the hell, you know?
Yeah.
But how could you be, and in a way, it takes people being a lot more insightful, smart, and inventive to survive when you don't have modern medicine and you don't have grocery stores you can go to and get food. You got to be kind of smart, you know? So then why did all of a sudden all that intelligence just stop at the door of the paranormal? I think it's because they were not as shielded as we are from those phenomena, and they dealt with them in a lot closer proximity. So I think you're exactly right on that, Hawk. I think you're exactly right on that.
LW Marshall says that between Elvis feces and the lizard memory glands, this has been the best episode ever.
Man, I leave that up. I wish I could screen cap that. Actually, you know what? That should be go back in and edit the description of the show and
I think this is the title.
Exactly right. Elvis feces and lizard.
You know what? We're just going to lean into this.
We're going to go with it.
I'll do it too. I don't even care. Oh, I've got a sickness-addled brain.
Dead End Yard Haunts talking about that cocaine dog man. There's a movie called Cocaine Werewolf coming out. And we're just, at this point, we're about ready to start sending out like cease and desist letters for like theft of intellectual property rights.
I'm about to send out invoices is what I'm going to start doing.
Charging people.
I'm going to start sending out invoices to some of these YouTube channels who like to watch these little shows. And then the next week when I talk about what we talk about, but have no clue what they're talking about.
But it's being...
You about to get an invoice too,
everybody's getting invoices.
You getting an invoice.
Everybody's getting charged
You get an
for
invoice. You get an invoice. Those cats are getting an invoice.
Damn right they are. Did you ever talk about the cocaine, what we're doing with Cocaine Dogman?
I don't like to talk about cocaine in public, but I can. No. So I've got the design for Cocaine Dogman. I have it finalized.
Done by the great Jonathan Dodd, who did our logo up there. I always like wonder when you see people do it on like TikTok and Instagram where they just do this and it's like whatever's floating above them. I'm going, how do they get so good at doing that? I am obviously not good at it.
Yeah.
I'm just doing it right now. Anyway.
But we're going to do Cocaine Dogman shirts. I got the final design, so I will have that up. I can actually put the pre-order up for that soon.
And we're doing a pre-order because we know this ain't going to appeal to everybody.
No.
Not everybody's going to want to wear a Cocaine Dogman shirt in public.
But our hauler ballers and our paladins are going to get a code for a free shirt because the Paladins and the Hollow Ballers get a free cocaine.
Because you
Dogman
guys are
shirt.
like freaking going above
So,
and beyond here. So.
I'm gonna do it to where I'm gonna.
Some of them are probably rethinking that investment right now after tonight's show. They're sitting there going, "Hold on, how do I cancel this?" So.
You guys are all gonna get a code for a free shirt. You just go through when I set up the pre-order portal. You just go in there, do the pre-order, put in your code, and then it'll be free for you to get a Cocaine Dogman shirt. So your pre-order is going to be free if you are one of those tiers on our membership. So I'll set that up through Shopify on our website, and I'll put a little notification in the community tab on the channel for that when that goes live. And I'll put the pre-order up for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then we'll put those in. And I might go ahead and do a pre-order on the regular Hellbent Holler t-shirts that have this logo on it, also by Jonathan Dodd, because I know a lot of people were talking about getting some of those. That way we can kind of get all that done at the same time because our screen printer does all of it. So,
yes.
And again, these are on high quality t-shirts. They're hand screen printed by a small family business. So it's always good stuff. We are considering doing hats too, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But for the t-shirts, we are doing a pre-order on those. So we'll do the pre-order for 2 weeks. I'll send that off to the printer and then we'll get our order back and then we'll ship all of those out. So that's the news on the Cocaine Dogman.
There we go. All the Cocaine Dogman news fit to print. Hawk says hats. Our hats are, and here's the deal is that we had a few hats left from something that we did. Was it Tennessee Wildman? And here, I'm just gonna be upfront with you people. We had a few people contact us going, we want to buy a hat. And we were going, here's how much it's gonna be. And they were like, yeah, not interested anymore. We've got like nice hats. The Stitch which Deuster's wife makes our hats for us by hand.
But I wasn't charging outlandish amounts. It's literally like it's like $25.
But what I'm saying is people were wanting like $9 hats. Yeah, and we ain't selling $9 hats. We're not selling like styrofoam trucker hats. It would be the same hat that we like wear.
Although we need one of those styrofoam cowboy hats from Dumb and Dumber with our logo on it.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
we're out the frame today.
But it's like, and it's not something we really make any money off of. So you got to bear with us because it ain't something we're getting rich off doing. It's basically cost shipping gas to the post office.
But I know I'm complaining about ripoffs, but the design for the Cocaine Dogman shirt is actually kind of a ripoff of the Cocaine Bear design.
It's different one. It's different when we do it, you know.
That's my grift.
It's my grift. So all right.
It's 8:53, kids.
There we go. We're gonna wrap up here in a few minutes. Marcus goes, I'm going to wear my Cocaine Dogman shirt to church so I can be excommunicated. He probably will do that as well. You know what I'm saying? Send us a selfie from the.
I did it, guys. We did it together.
Yeah. So, all right. So I'm going to go through starred comments here real quick and see if I missed anything.
Would like a Hellbent koozie. That's actually doable.
That's doable. We got to find a koozie guy though, because we don't. Again,
my t-shirt guy's a koozie guy. It's screen printing.
Does he do that? So,
yeah.
We stopped doing Teespring. Was it Teespring or TeePublic? We did Teespring. We set it up because we don't have a lot of time to do merchandise.
They were not good.
And the quality was so crappy that we just killed the store. We were just like, we're not doing this, man. I mean, so all we're doing now is stuff that's made by like.
Although one of those shirts did save Denim Devil's life. It caught fire while he was welding in it. And it burned to a crisp, but he was unscathed by the flames.
The cheap shirt saved his life. Where a good quality shirt would have like caught fire and then smoldered and then burned him to death.
Yeah.
Smog wants to know Hellbent shot glasses. You got a shot glass guy?
I got a shot glass guy.
You do really have a shot glass guy?
I got a shot glass guy. It's a shot glass gal, actually.
Yeah, but hey, well.
So we're just gonna do everything, right? Actually, the shot glasses are pretty simple. That's the same people that do the pint glasses. So we're giving away all these pint glasses. Some of you probably have pint glasses.
Some of you guys probably have pint glasses.
Because we were giving away tons of pint glasses.
A friend of ours made Hellbent Holler pint glasses, just like regular pint glasses with like the Hellbent Holler logo on them.
Of all the glasses you have, it's not the one.
It's not the one. It's not a Hellbent Holler glass. And we got them and we were just like, oh, thanks, I guess. Yeah, thank you. And then we took them somewhere and people went freaking crazy over
them. Oh, yeah. Everybody's
people went like nuts over them. So,
yeah.
Michael Russell wants some more stickers. Send me some more stickers, please. Yeah, we'll get you. I think we've got some stickers. We'll send them to you, Michael.
Yeah.
But all right, guys, we're going to be wrapping up in a few minutes.
Elvis turned toilet paper.
Damn, Centurion came in like big tonight, man.
He really
Good Lord.
did. He
Yeah,
really
welcome
he
to
made quite a showing.
You,
this
you
evening.
fit in well here. So, all right.
He walked in, shat on the floor.
All right. So, anybody got anything insightful or funny or interesting or anything like that? Drop it right now on us, because otherwise we're wrapping this bad boy up. Thank you to all the new members.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We appreciate the support. Thank you guys for keeping this running for us and everybody else. If we appreciate the people that are inclined and have the ability to help us out with this, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for playing along tonight.
Thank you for playing along. You either loved the show tonight or you hated the show tonight. So
yeah. But we do appreciate you guys all being part of this. Make sure if you're not subscribed, you subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications.
We need a shirt that, sorry to cut you off, but if I don't say it now, I'll forget it.
Go talk.
Okay. That classic scene of Patty, mid-stride looking at the camera. I can't remember what frame that is. Frame 48, 43, whatever that is. You need to have one. Same background at Bluff Creek, but Elvis Turd walking right there.
Wait, does the turd have arms, legs?
It's to be decided. I'm not an artist. I can't come up with everything.
You're just an idea man.
I'm just the idea guy.
I don't execute.
You have to execute the turd now.
No, I have to have the conversation with people who draw stuff and be
Yes.
like, all right, so there's a turd and he's in Bluff Creek. And that, yeah. I have to have these conversations. You just sit back and just smile.
I come up with the ideas and I wash my hands with the turd and walk away.
Jesus Christ. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us for
you so
Helmet
much.
Holler Live.
Damn it. Mr. Hankey's right. Damn it. There's already a turd that
we're getting sued by the, you know what? I think the South Park people would probably enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly right. So
all right, guys. Thank you for joining us. You guys are wonderful. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure that your notifications are on.
I wonder how many subscribers we lost from the show, actually.
Keep an eye out. And I should be feeling better by tomorrow. I got an IV today just because I was not well at all. So I am doing much better. And we will talk at you guys later. We appreciate everything that you guys do. We appreciate you guys joining us for this. We appreciate the laughs. And I hope you guys have a badass week. Make sure you take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we're going to skedaddle here. So, you good?
Marcus comes in under the wire. Elvis was wearing a Patty costume in '67.